Artistry Academy of Painting for Photographers Paint Along webinar number 2, The Eyes Have It. Today we're going to paint human and animal eyes in Corel Painter and Adobe Photoshop. And here are some examples of the eyes I've painted over the years.
Ooh, beautiful.
So these are anywhere from recent to a million years ago, and these are all parts of bigger paintings. But I kind of do have a style for the way that I do it, but it's all based on traditional art and color theories that have been passed down through the centuries. And so what I thought we would do first is go over what the traditional theories are for painting eyes, and then I'll show you how to apply those on the images that I sent you. And I do a lot of talking in these webinars, and I appreciate your being polite and letting me talk, but I'm also here to serve. And if something doesn't make sense, please ask me. That's the whole beauty of this. We're live and in person right now. And I always want to point out, of course, it can be said that there are no rules and rules are made to be broken, and you're welcome to ignore all of the following theories. You know by now that I like to make sure that even though I state all these art theories, if you look at paintings through the centuries, artists have employed, but there are also artists who don't employ them, and it's dealer's choice. You're welcome to apply them or not. I never want to say this is how you must do it. And I say I use them all for my own paintings because I have found in my travels, I like the paintings best that follow these rules. So that's why I subscribe to them. Also, I invent a lot of the things I'm about to tell you about. In other words, you won't always see them in the source photograph. And even if I don't see them, I add them anyway. And I think that's one of the keys to painting eyes or to painting any of the features of the face. If you just copy what you see in the photograph, it's not going to always be the best route. Sometimes it's desirable to add the following color and art theories to make the painting look more painterly, especially with the eyes. The eyes, as I said in my email, the eyes are considered to be the windows to the soul. So really painting the eyes is like one of the key parts of a painting. So let's take a look at some traditional paintings. But the things that I'm about to tell you are things that everybody uses. They just use it in their own style. This is John Singer Sargent. In case you don't recognize these, I'll just tell you who they're by. This is also Sargent. This you know by now. You're familiar with this lady. She's a Rembrandt. This is also a John Singer Sargent. You'll notice that in the photos that I sent you to paint, I tried to include males and females, and I also included pets. You'll also be interested to find that the same theories for painting the eyes hold throughout. And that's another Rembrandt lady, another Rembrandt lady, another John Singer Sargent, and John Singer Sargent, and John Singer Sargent, and the man again. And here are some pets, and these are pets painted through the centuries. This is a Gainsborough. The next one is by Johann Wagen, who painted in the 1800s. This is John Singer Sargent. He painted pets too. And last but not least, this is by Richard Ramsay Reinagel from the 1800s. So these are close-ups of all the paintings that I just showed you. And here is how you paint eyes. You're going to think about where the light is hitting the eye. And the catchlights point in the direction of the light source. And it's interesting to me that if you notice, there is no rule about how to paint the catchlight. The catchlight can be any shape. Rembrandt, I have noticed in all of his paintings, actually put a little tiny dot of a catchlight, but everybody seems to have included it. And this is in all kinds of paintings, not just the ones that I pulled for this. And the reason that you're adding a catchlight is, again, that's where the light source is hitting the topmost part of the sphere. And also, like I say, it's showing the direction of the light. So if you have the light coming from the right, the catchlight's going to go in the direction of the light to the right. If you have a highlight on the nose, it's got to be the same direction as the catchlights in the eyes. So just quickly to show you some examples of the catchlights. And by the way, I'm going to show you when we do the painting, I always change the catchlights in the photograph to look like this, because sometimes in the photograph you have maybe a broader catchlight because you've got light coming from all different directions, or maybe there's no catchlight at all. And I always paint in a catchlight that looks like these paintings. And by the way, the things that I'm saying hold true for the pets. So if you're painting dogs and cats and horses, you're still going to add catchlights. By the way, I wanted to say also that the size, the shape, and the color of the catchlight are some of the ingredients that go into your style. As I've always emphasized in all of these lessons so far, you don't have to paint the catchlights like anybody. You can make them round or square or a dash of a brush stroke. You can make them white, beige, dark. You can do like anything you want, and that will be your style. You don't have to paint them like somebody else paints them. So here's the source photo. It's time to paint in the catchlight. I go into the soft color and I'm going to turn up the flow and I'm going to make the brush smaller. I'm going to choose a light color. And I'm going to check to see where my light source is coming from. It's kind of in the middle, so that's where I'm going to put my catchlights. And it looks much more painterly than when we first started. So the next thing I thought we would do.
I have the question in Photoshop on the.
Yes.
I've been using Painter, so on Photoshop, I haven't loaded the brushes that you have. What brushes, what was it that you used for Photoshop?
It's in the Sperling Rembrandt Faces. And it's the Faces Soft Blender and the Faces Soft Color.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to do the same techniques, only in Painter. We go into the soft airbrush, and it's time to paint the catchlight. We said that it was kind of coming from the middle, so I'm going to kind of put it right here. I tend to make the catchlight look like that, sort of like a dash, but you certainly could make it more round. Or you can make it bigger. You can even make it more transparent. I'm going to turn down the opacity a bit. Can make it a different color. A little more subtle. You know, you can do whatever you want. And that's how I would paint the catchlights in Painter.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I should ask any questions at this point?
I'd just like to comment that
Yes.
I'm really surprised at the different types. So like it's not consistent in the highlights in the iris, that it can be square, lines, circles. That's kind of an eye opener.
Yeah, it's interesting because you would think that there would be just one way to do it, and there isn't. And I'm saying that all of the paintings that I've looked at have the catchlights, but I have definitely seen paintings that don't have them at all. So you don't even have to put them in. So that just goes to show the lack of uniformity that you're pointing out. It's really funny. I've done this a million times and I found myself just doing this. I was on autopilot, and that's definitely the way that you want to get, because you don't want it to be laborious. If you do it enough, it really becomes fun. That was really fun for me.
It's been really helpful.
Oh, good. So now I'd like to see how you all do. So
Thank you, Karen.
okay, you're welcome.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you guys. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see your painting results.
Yeah. Thanks, Karen.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thanks. Until next time.
All
Bye
right,
now.
thank you.
Bye, Karen. Bye.